Welcome to Storytime with Deluli. Today's reading comes from r/relationships. Our first story is titled, I, an 18-year-old female, have decided to keep my baby. I don't know how to tell my aunt who is going to adopt the baby. I lived with my dad, a 43-year-old male, most of the time, and my mother, a 44-year-old female, on weekends. I'm still with the baby's father. I'm due in August. Early on in the pregnancy, my dad told me he wouldn't support me. My mother wouldn't support me, and the baby's father, my boyfriend, didn't want the baby. We broke up for a short while, actually, because of it. My aunt, a 32-year-old female, and uncle, a 36-year-old male, had been trying for a baby for a while, so when I wanted to give the baby up, they seemed like perfect parents and I'd still be able to see the baby. They've gotten a room ready too, which is why I feel terrible, but my mother reached out and told me she's willing to help me out and I've decided I want to keep the baby. I haven't told my aunt and uncle yet, but my father said I'm heartless and going to break their hearts. It's still my baby and I was under no obligation, but I still feel terrible. My aunt is one of the best people I know. I don't know how to let her down. On the other hand, I can't just give up my baby girl, Abigail Rose. I figure if I give her my aunt's name as a middle name, that's got to cheer her up a little. Well, I feel like you never really wanted to give up the baby and you didn't want to kill your baby like your boyfriend wanted you to. So I think, you have every right to keep your child and you were just trying to give your child to a family member so you can still see the child and you were just afraid you couldn't support your kid. But now that your mom stepped in and is willing to help you, you're in a position to where you feel like you can properly provide for your child, which is the only reason why you're willing to give them up in the first place. Now that you got that figured out, I think you have every right to keep your kid because it is your kid. Unfortunate as it is for your aunt and uncle, they should understand that it's your child and you're only letting them have your kid because you were in a position where you felt like you couldn't provide. And now that you feel like you can, I think you have every right to keep your kid. Our next story is titled, Update. I, an 18-year-old female, have decided to keep my baby. I don't know how to tell my aunt who is going to adopt the baby. Well, let's find out. I'd like to say thanks for all the comments I got on my last post. I've been thinking hard. I didn't expect to get so attached to the baby, but I did, and I was thinking about my role in the baby's life. Would I regret it? Would I be able to be there for her? I spoke to my aunt and told her that part of me wanted to keep the baby, a majority of me in fact. We cried together and then finally got around to having the conversation I dreaded. I realized I'd only been thinking about the guilt I'd feel. I could still have a role in bringing her up and I know she'll be loved. So I have to love the baby enough to realize that I'm not enough for her. I can't sacrifice my future or my boyfriend's future and risk the baby's future either. I asked a few things. I want to roll in the baby's life, just an aunt or something, and I want to name the baby. I've picked the name Hannah Claire. I don't know, I still don't feel comfortable with my decision and the guilt is eating me alive, but at least I know she'll be happy and loved. So while I'm not happy with my decision, it's the best one I believe. That's crazy. I don't know. I don't agree with that. I feel like if that's your kid, you have every right to be your kid. It's weird. How are you going to be the aunt of your blood child? I don't know. I mean, if you want to keep the kid, you'll make it work. I don't know how many times I've seen people like have kids when they felt like they weren't ready and they made it happen. They like that kid was like a sink or swim and they made it work and they have like a good life. So I don't know. I mean, I would say if your heart's there, you're the mom, it's natural. You're going to have a strong bond with that child. That is just how it works. So I don't know. I'm still on team keep your kid, I don't know. That's how I feel. Our next story is titled, I've, a 25-year-old female, been seeing him, a 29-year-old male, since fall and still isn't ready for a relationship despite introducing me to his parents. Sorry for the long wall of text, but my heart aches and I just feel so confused. Last fall, I was with someone for a year who basically kept me a secret from his family due to religious reasons. This relationship taught me that family plays a big role for me in relationships because I don't have a stable one of my own. He dumps me because he basically admits he'd never show me to his family. During the same time, this friend of mine who is getting really close to has troubles with his girlfriend. When I told him that my boyfriend at the time and I broke up, I noticed that he breaks up with his girlfriend the weekend after, and ironically, we hook up. What I thought was going to be a double rebound that would last only a short while, I realized I fell for him. We ended up spending Christmas, New Year's, and both of our birthdays together. He introduces me to his family, and in this time period, he takes me out on 2 trips with his family under the same roof. We act exclusive to each other and have amazing smashing almost every other day, and our parents are both familiar with us. Before the coronavirus quarantine, we basically acted as if we were together. But one day, over webcam, we were arguing, and I forgot over what, and he gets upset when I ask him to tell me what's on his mind. He gets mad and says that I don't have that privilege because I'm not his girl. Obviously, this hurts me, and after that day, we stopped talking. He tells me he's not ready for a relationship, and this totally breaks me because I made it clear that I didn't want anything with him if he didn't want anything. So we agreed to date. But he changes his mind and says that he's not ready and can't give in to that. that. Fast forward to June, and he asks to hang out. I come in with hesitation because I want to respect what he wants about how he doesn't want a relationship. I decide to entertain it. We hang out for like a week and we acted like friends with benefits, which I was totally okay with, until he drops the bomb that his feelings for me never changed, and that he would want to work it out with me, and that it was never that he didn't want to be with me, but he didn't feel like that he was the best version of himself and felt that if he got with me, it would set us up for failure because he felt he wasn't ready. This leaves me with really complicated feelings. I really like him before, and I felt so scared when he confessed his feelings again, when I should be happy, right? I tell him that I'm not so sure about my feelings for him because he burned me last time, but the distance between us from before closes and we became closer. We went on hiking trips to each other's houses and basically acted like lovers again. And honestly, today I had a breakdown in front of him how this just feels like a roller coaster, and that I always have to keep in the back of my mind that this would end again, that this isn't forever. We're both crying at this point, and he tells me that he still feels like he isn't ready and that maybe we might miss each other again. I don't get his head and I don't get mine. Why do I keep coming back? Why does he keep coming back? Why do I feel like I'm not enough? I don't understand how someone can introduce me to their family and be that committed to me and not make me theirs. Ugh. There are a lot more details, but I'm exhausted and tired. Sorry for such a pathetic post. Interesting. I don't know. I feel like you just like smashing and you're letting him smash without being in a relationship, so why would he commit? It's like he's getting it for free, you know? I don't know. I don't understand the friends with benefits thing. It's like I feel like that's such an intimate thing that if you're doing those things, it should be with someone that you're in a relationship with, unless of course you're just wired to not care about it that much. If it's not that, if that activity doesn't mean anything to you and it's just like, it's just literally this casual as walking, then obviously you're not going to feel that way. But for me, it's a very special thing, and it's such an intimate thing. It's like the most intimate you can be with a human. And if you're just throwing it around like that, then, you know, without any sense of commitment, then obviously you're like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's ridiculous. You ask why you keep coming back. I don't know. Maybe you enjoy it. Maybe you like it. Or maybe you just have the hope that things will change, but really it's not. I think the real way to test it is to not do the friends with benefits thing with him. Just hang out and don't touch each other and do stuff, and let's see if he stays around. Or maybe he'll develop feelings for you, or he'll want to be in a relationship because now he's not getting any. So I don't know. I feel like that might be the best thing to do, is to just stop diddling each other and then really see what happens. See if you really have feelings for each other or if you're just having fun. Our next story is titled, "My good friend thinks I indulge my boyfriend's OCD and is angry at me. My lovely lad has OCD. When things are all right, whatever that means, you'd barely notice apart from him being really into organizing and taking a tad bit longer showers. But when stressed, it can be nasty. Washing hands, doing dishes till there's blood, furiously cleaning instead sleeping, asking about the quality of aforementioned cleaning processes, trying to cook and cleaning in the middle of it, etc. He goes to therapy, takes meds, and before Corona, he got a service doggo, so there hasn't been any bigger hurdle for at least a year. Even quarantine went fine as we managed to come up with a makeshift routine, which I'm super excited about as it was one of the biggest changes in his lifestyle, and even non-OCD folks struggled. We don't live together, but when beginning a reconstruction of my flat, I decided to do it as much OCD friendly as possible. We have a lighting system that offers many levels of brightness, can be altered to warm or cold. Bathroom is cozy as F, if it makes sense. He once told me that he didn't want to spend so much time in bathroom because it looked like a bathroom and therefore it wasn't designed for spending decades in, but then he found himself doing exactly that, and when he finally came out, he felt horrible because he knew it wasn't normal. I purchased soap/shower gels with more natural ones so I'd not irritate his skin. Also included easy to clean up surfaces and organizers. So far, he managed to cook without scrutinizing everything for strains, etc. For 2 weeks, he stayed in mine. That makes me happy. On to the problem. My friend Aga, who knows about my BF's OCD, was one of friends I invited to my home warming bash. She was the only one who later insisted on having a few words with me regarding my new interior. Her main concern was my flat being too much OCD friendly. Personally, I don't think there's nothing like this, as he still has his thoughts and leads a normal social life, which keeps him on his toes. Also, I had talked with his therapist, and she told me it was worth trying and could be helpful if he was feeling supported in my environment. I shared those thoughts with Aga, and she replied with a theory when I should keep him alerted so he would get used to the mess, etc., which I cannot imagine doing, truly, as it would negatively influence our relationship. She refuses to visit my flat as it reminds her of my weakness. My family and those who I shared this convo with think I should keep a distance from from Aga, but I don't know. She is one of my close friends. We have never fought like that, and it makes me anxious. I also start to worry if I didn't F it up, though I know I can relate on therapist advice, but it pops in my head now and again. So I guess I needed to rant on internet just to get this frustration off my chest. I don't know, that's weird that your friend would have such a, I don't know. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? What do you think on this one? What do you think about this? I want to hear your input on this one, because I'm actually curious to see. This could go a few ways, but I want to see what you think. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you enjoy these types of videos, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that bell for notifications so you know when more videos come out. Thank you all for your continued support. If you would like to join our Discord, we have an amazing community filled with awesome people. The link for that's in the description below, along with all of my other social media links if you'd like to follow me on different places of the internet as well. Hope you all are staying safe out there. And with that being said, we'll see you next time.